Welcome to the Summary of Stories. In this video, I will explain the film titled Gifted Hands, released in 2009. The film begins in 1966, where Ben Carson is a primary school student at B3, often mocked for his below-average performance in school. One day, while being bullied by classmates, Ben retaliates and hits one of the children in the head. As a result, his mother, Sonia Carson, is called to the principal's office. After leaving the principal's office, Ben complains about being stupid, but Sonia insists that he is an intelligent boy who can do much better with harder work. Sonia worries about his future, fearing that if he doesn't excel in his studies, he might end up doing odd jobs, something she doesn't want for her sons, Ben and Curtis. While helping Ben with his studies, Sonia realizes he has difficulty seeing and arranges for him to get glasses, which improve his grades. Despite Ben often complaining about not having as much intelligence as his peers, Sonia encourages him to focus on his studies. One day, Ben attends a Sunday church service, where the pastor shares the story of a missionary doctor who treated poor patients despite threats from the king. This story inspires Ben to become a missionary doctor himself. Meanwhile, Sonia, often depressed reflecting on her marriage, visits a psychiatrist and shares the story of her rise to foster care before marrying Carson at the age of 13, her first marriage and another child. She reveals that she is illiterate and fears her sons might end up the same way. Learning about Sonia's suicidal tendencies, the doctor suggests she spend time in the hospital while dining with the boys. That night, Sonia tells them she'll be away for a few weeks but hides the truth about being in the hospital. Sonia reminds them to study hard, believing it's the only option to change their lives for the better. After Sonia moves to the hospital, Ben keeps his promise, works hard, and gradually improves his academic performance, eventually earning an A for the first time. When Sonia returns home and Ben shares the good news, she is very proud of him. Sonia gets a new cleaning job with Professor Ben-Hur Kit, who has an extensive book collection. Impressed by Sonia's knowledge, he suggests developing reading habits in her sons. Back home, Sonia announces she'll limit their screen time and they must visit the library and read books every week. Although Ben and Curtis protest, Sonia shows no mercy. Initially reluctant, Ben gradually starts enjoying the library and often reads to his mother. His newfound hobby surprises not only his classmates but also his teachers. Ben impresses his geology teacher, who shows him rock specimens under a microscope, revealing a whole new world. Over time, Ben excels in his studies, while Sonia takes reading lessons from Professor Ben-Hur. As Ben enters 8th grade, he receives a prestigious award, proving he can achieve anything. However, the situation intensifies during the ceremony when his teacher discriminates against him due to his skin color. Sonia uses her money to move her sons to Chicago. In the Chicago high school, Ben faces mockery again due to his old clothes. He asks Sonia for new ones, but she has no money left. The next day at school, Ben stands up to a bully named Carl, who becomes his friend after being impressed by his courage. However, this friendship leads Ben into bad company, and Carl buys him a knife. Returning home, Ben finds Sonia has organized new clothes for him, but he dislikes them and contemplates using the knife. The next morning, Ben refuses to wear the new clothes, leading to a confrontation with his mother. In the struggle, they try to attack him with a hammer, but Curtis intervenes and stops them. Ben's mood worsens over time, and he fights with Carl, stabbing him in the stomach. Although Carl survives, the incident shocks Ben. Realizing his temper could cause serious trouble, Ben and Curtis pray to God while trying to calm down. 4 years later, Ben is enrolled at Yale University, participating in various activities while studying medicine. Attending lectures, he becomes intrigued by the miraculous workings of the human brain and decides he wants to be a brain surgeon. Discussing his struggles with his girlfriend, she advises him to focus on reading instead of lectures. Ben embraces the idea, dedicating his time to understanding chemistry concepts by reading books and notes. After months of hard work, he passes the exam and dedicates it to Candy, asking her to marry him after graduation. Ben attends an interview for a surgery residency at Johns Hopkins, impressing the doctor with his knowledge and passion, securing a position in his dream hospital. Beginning his professional career, Ben enjoys helping those in need and loves his work. One day, a critically injured patient arrives at the hospital, and with no senior neurosurgeons available, Ben reluctantly decides to perform the operation himself. Despite the doctor's disapproval, Ben's decision to save a human life instead of focusing on protocol becomes the turning point in his successful medical career. In 1985, Ben becomes the chief of pediatric neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins, managing seemingly impossible cases. He also enjoys a happy marital life with Candy. A girl named Cynthia with severe seizures is brought to the hospital, and after examining her case, Ben suggests removing the left hemisphere of her brain. The operation is successful, marking another achievement in his career. As Ben perfects the hemispherectomy procedure to treat other patients, he gains widespread media coverage for his services in neurosurgery. Meanwhile, Sonia visits him to spend time with her grandchildren and Candy, who is pregnant with twins. Candy's pregnancy becomes complicated, leading to emergency transportation to the hospital. Although the doctors save her life, the twins are lost. After Candy's recovery, she advises Ben to return to the hospital, as many other patients also need him. While on duty, Ben is informed about a case of conjoined twins in Germany and is asked to treat them. Despite the high risk, Ben decides to attempt the surgery. Before leaving for Germany, he meets the twins' parents, Peter and Augusta Roach. Augusta reveals that, despite being aware of her children's condition during pregnancy, she couldn't abort them, knowing the doctors might not be able to save both children. Ben examines the twins and discovers they share no vital organs but could face complications due to their conjoined brains. Although confident about separating their brains, Ben is unsure about the problem of excessive bleeding that could cost them their lives. Returning to the United States, he decides not to proceed with the surgery to avoid any risks. While taking care of his sons, Ben thinks about his defenseless parents and informs his eldest son that he is ready to perform the operation. After receiving approval, Ben begins researching ways to save both children. Thinking about the operation, he recalls his own lost twins and shares his feelings with his mother. Sonia encourages him to pursue the surgery. Otherwise, he will regret not trying. She reminds him once again that he is capable of anything as long as he sees beyond his vision. Ben decides to go ahead with the surgery, assembling a team of neurosurgeons, plastic surgeons, anesthesiologists, and cardiovascular surgeons. After initiating preparations, he invites Peter and Augusta to Johns Hopkins for the operation, explaining the procedure to them. Ben tells them they will have to stop the child's heart during the operation so that they don't lose consciousness while the doctors rebuild their veins. On September 5, 1987, the team begins the first surgery of its kind to separate conjoined twins. After a nerve-wracking 21 hours, Ben successfully saves both children and shares the good news with their overwhelmed parents. As everyone admires Ben, he thanks his mother and wife for believing in him and shares his achievements with the media. At the end of the film, it is revealed that the twins survive and are taken back to Germany, where they are still alive today. Ben goes on to perform various successful surgeries on conjoined twins, contributing to the acceptance of the hemispherectomy procedure for treating seizures. In addition to his triumphant medical career, Ben and Candy also established the Carson Scholars Fund to reward academic excellence in deserving students. Thanks for watching this summary, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting summaries.